I'm trying to share science-based psychology and to share strategies and questions you can use in order to improve your mental health or to help you to cope better. However, I want to note that these sessions cannot be accepted as psychotherapy or treatment. I am providing these sessions just as to increase your awareness and to help you to cope better with stress. And today we will be speaking about how to cope with stress if you are a high performer, overachiever, and if you are trying to succeed during challenging times or when there is a lot of stress. To understand performance under pressure, we first need to understand the brain, how human brain works. And that's why I will be illustrating some examples from neuroscience, what's happening to your brain whenever you are faced with stress or challenges, and what you can do in order to support yourself and to succeed even during stressful times. And when brain perceives stress as a threat, the part of brain that calls amygdala, the brain's alarm system, becomes overactivated, and its job is to survive. Therefore, there is no strategic thinking during those times, no creativity, no emotional intelligence, and it can be difficult to stay focused, to remember things, and to plan, to make decisions, because your brain is at a survival mode at this time. And that's why you might have some challenges with sympathetic nervous system. It gets highly activated, and you might have heart rate increase, breathing becomes shallow, or your cortisol and adrenaline levels will be released, and your attention narrows, and you are more focusing on the problem in order to stay safe. So your brain was designed in this manner in order to keep you safe and to keep you away from possible threats. However, if you are experiencing constant stress, it can be very challenging to succeed. Therefore, it's important to understand what happens to your brain, what you can do about it, and how to reframe stress differently, how to learn to see stress from different lights, and to make it impact you less. And the problem is that the brain often responds to emails, presentations, deadlines, conflicts, uncertainty in the same manner as if there is a danger or a threat, and it gets overactivated. And the same way it would respond to a physical threat. And here's what's become important. Under high stress, activity in the prefrontal cortex decreases, and so when stress rises too high, the thinking brain becomes less accessible, and we are becoming more emotional, and it's more difficult to take steps, rational steps, or to think more, to think broader, or to think from different perspectives. And that's why intelligent people sometimes make poor decisions under pressure. And it doesn't mean that you are lacking capability, or it means that it's your nervous system overloaded. And research from neuroscience demonstrates that chronic stress weakens functioning of prefrontal cortex while strengthening more reactive brain systems that are related with fear and habit-based responses. In simple terms, stress shifts us from intentional performance into automatic survival mode. And the goal is not to eliminate stress, because it's not possible, but we can learn how to respond to stress differently. And maybe you are dealing with a lot of challenging people during the day if you are working in office, or if you are trying to sell something. Maybe you have customers who hesitate, customers who complain, targets that don't wait, and pressure that doesn't switch off. And yet you are still here, you are still trying to learn new things and trying to learn how to cope with stress. And this already tells that you are making steps, that you are willing, and you are trying to change. You are learning new things. And we are focusing on something much more powerful today. What are you already doing in your life that you want? What is something that you want to change and you want to achieve, and how to get more of it? And what are times when you are already able to do this, when you are coping well, when you are using different strategies, when you are responding differently? And what's happening during those moments? What helps you to stay focused, to stay calm, or respond in the manner that you want to respond? And if this session was useful for you, what kind of change you would like to see, what kind of internal shift you would like to have. Not in a year, not in 2 years, but just if this change already started to happen when you walk out from this session and you saw some difference, some change, what kind of change you would like to see. And maybe you felt calmer when somebody pushes back, or you don't take things personally as much, or you are not being impacted by what's happening in your environment. And if your mind says, I don't know, that's completely okay. It's okay not to know questions to all the answers. So what would be the smallest sign that this session helped you? What would even 1% look better for you? And you are expert on your life. So in the therapies, in the sessions, we are asking the people, clients, questions in order to help them to understand themselves better. And we cannot know what would work for which person, and because they are the experts of their own life. And even if you are not fully sure right now, we trust that they have what they need in order to move forward. And performance psychology also teaches us something fascinating. Pressure is not only created by circumstances, it's also created by interpretations. For instance, two people can experience the exact same situations, but one would be one would be experiencing a challenge as a problem, and it will be very difficult for them to cope with its symptoms. But other people might experience it as a threat, and it can be even more difficult. So apart from what's happening to us, which meaning we give to a situation also matters. And research by Keely McConnell and Jeremy Jamieson found that reframing stress responses as helpful rather than harmful can improve resilience, cardiovascular functioning, and performance under pressure. And let's try to imagine something together. Suppose that this session was useful, and you leave, you go to work tomorrow, and what would be the first small sign that things are turning better and changing? Take a moment. Maybe you will walk into your work and you will feel calmer, and you would feel more focused, more motivated. And what would be the very first sign that something has already shifted and you are starting to respond differently? For instance, maybe you meet someone and conversation makes you frustrated, and instead of reacting emotionally, maybe you respond with curiosity. And what would make today a good outcome for you? The brain responds to the story we tell ourselves. For instance, if we say, I can't handle this, or this is too stressful for me, actually your brain responds in that manner and designs it according to your interpretation. But even if very challenging situations are happening, but if you learn to respond to these situations differently, you can change the way you relate to problems, to challenges, and your brain will automatically design itself to it, because it's difficult for the brain to differentiate between the reality and the thoughts and internal experiences. And if we learn to interpret difficult, challenging situations differently in a manner that would serve us, we can decrease the level of stress that we are experiencing, or we will be impacted less by it. And let's go to the past. Now not analyze the problems, but find evidence when you were able to cope already. When has been even a small part of what already has happened? Take your time. Maybe there was one moment, however small, when things felt slightly better, even if the stress and challenges were present there. What was different about you in that moment? What were you doing differently, and what were you thinking? Who has noticed this, and what did they say about you? And what difference did that make in your day, even if it was small? And what did they say about you? It's important because that moment is not random. There were a lot of efforts that you have taken in order for this to happen. For instance, were you patient? Were you creative? Were you curious? What were exactly there about you that helped you to make that present, make that happen? And where did you learn to respond that way? Who influenced you? Who helped you? And who wouldn't be surprised to see you succeeding this way? Because now we are not just talking about behavior, we are talking about identity. Under stress, attention narrows toward threat, but high performers train attention intentionally. Uh, Instead of thinking, what if everything goes wrong, they start to see what is the next controllable step. What can I do? What are some things that I can control, and what are some things that I can change in order in order to experience stress, to make stress to impact me less. And performance psychology constantly shows that focusing on controllable reduces anxiety and improves execution. And if something felt possible, you are more likely to do it. So, based on everything you just remembered, what does that say about you? What you already have within you? Maybe you showed up every day, maybe you handled difficult situations before, and you are still doing your job under pressure. What does it tell about you? Which qualities, which features did you use for this to happen? And what does that say about you? It means that you can adapt, you can communicate, you can stay patient under pressure, and you can keep going even when things get hard. And who supports you in your life? Who believes in you even when you don't believe in yourself? What would they say you are good at? Sometimes it's difficult to realize our own capabilities and resources, but when we consider other people's perspectives, who care about us, who believe in us, we can find new qualities and features that we haven't noticed in the past, and we can use them again because they haven't disappeared. They are somewhere within us, and they are just waiting to be remembered, reminded, and awakened. And if we look at lives of successful people, you will notice that most of them have gone through a lot of challenges. For instance, if we consider the life of Michael Jordan and his flu game, during Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals, Michael Jordan was become severely ill. He later believed to be food poison, and he was dehydrated, weak, struggling to breathe, and visibly exhausted. And he scored 38 points and led the Chicago Bulls to victory in one of the most icon performances in sports history. And Jordan later admitted that I almost played myself into passing out. And key lesson is that elite performers often focus on commitment over comfort, execution over emotion, purpose over pain. Probably it was extremely difficult for him to stay focused and to play under these conditions. But Jordan couldn't control his physical condition, in this case fatigue, discomfort, but he focused on what he could do, what he could change, and what he could control, such as focus, effort, and decision making. And from neuroscience point of view, under stress and exhaustion, motivation circuits weaken, pain perception increases, and focus declines. But meaning and emotional commitment can override fatigue signals temporarily, and this connects to dopamine, attention control, mental toughness, cognitive appraisal, and that's probably what happened to him during the performance, since he was so much focused on what he wanted to accomplish that this fatigue and other symptoms went into background. And peak performance is not performing perfectly when conditions are ideal, it's executing effectively when conditions are difficult. So let me show you something. You are here right now, even with everything going on. What does that say about you, that you are trying to learn? You are coming to listen to a session and you are trying to learn strategies to change, to improve your life. What does that say about you? It's not small, it's a resource. And another interesting figure who also succeeded during crisis was Serena Williams. After life-threatening childbirth complications, Serena Williams returned to elite tennis competition despite physical recovery, fear, intense public pressure that she was experiencing, and emotional stress. And she openly discussed anxiety, self-doubt, and mental demands of returning to world-class performance. However, she rebuilt herself mentally and physically and was able to succeed. And recovery from stress and trauma requires nervous system recalibrations, gradual exposure, and rebuilding confidence pathways. And courage doesn't mean not being afraid or not feeling anxious. Courage means taking steps even when you feel anxious, when you feel scared. And elite performers understand that resilience is not instant, it is trained progressively. So confidence is not built before difficult moments, it is built through them. And it's being able to stay consistent, commitment, even when conditions become challenging, even when stress rises. So here is here is an interesting part. You don't need new strategies, you need more of what already works. What helps you to stay resilient, to stay strong, to succeed during challenging and stressful situations? And what are you already doing that is helping you? And how can you do more of that? And neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, and the brain changes through repeated experience. And each time we are being exposed to different new situations, we are learning new coping strategies, we are learning new ways of coping and dealing. And what we repeatedly practice becomes automatic, like a habit. So even if you feel scared, anxious, or it's very difficult for you to perform certain things under difficult conditions, each time you are taking steps, this means that you are learning to do it, and your brain chemistry, your brain pathways are changing. And the next time when you will be faced with similar situations, it will be easier for you to take steps and to continue going. So if we repeatedly practice panic, catastrophizing, avoidance, this pathway strengthens. And if we avoid, distract ourselves each time when we feel scared or when we feel anxious, it is increases. And in the same way, if we repeatedly practice regulation, recovery, emotional awareness, if we are teaching ourselves to stay with discomfort and to take steps despite discomfort and challenging internal experiences, we are learning to stay focused, we are learning to succeed and to continue taking steps even during challenging times. So high performers often develop pre-performance routines that help them to stay healthy, mentally strong, resilient. They plan recovery rituals, mental rehearsal, emotional regulation skills, structured focus habits. And because consistency under pressure is trained, so they are using all resources that are available for them in order to help them to achieve that outcome. So once you have decided what kind of change you would like to see for yourself, asking yourself what helped you in the past, how did you make that possible in the past, which environments, people, resources, strategies helped you to make that possible, can help you to give insights on what you can use again in order to make this happen. So what is one small sign that you are already moving forward? What helps you keep going during challenging times? What will your future self thank you for if you were doing today? What strength will you use again tomorrow? And you don't need to become someone else. You already have moments when you handle things well. Your job is to notice those moments, to repeat them, to trust them. And even during stress, there are differences, there are strengths, there is movement. And that means that change is already happening. We just don't notice it because it happens with very small steps. And at the end of each day, asking yourself what went well, what did I do that helped, and how did I do that again tomorrow, can help you to give insights about positive things that are happening in your life, about progress, about steps you are taking. And you are already closer than you think. So I hope this session was helpful for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave your questions in the comments, and see you in the next sessions again. Take good care of yourself.